Adam's podcast, How to Improve English. I'm Adam, your host. A bit about myself. I've been teaching English for over 10 years, helping students from all around the world to improve their language skills. I'm passionate about making learning fun and accessible for everyone.
And I'm Julia. I've been working as an English tutor for the past 8 years, focusing on both academic and conversational English. I'm excited to share tips and strategies that have helped my students succeed.
Today's episode is all about practical ways to enhance your English skills. We'll be discussing various methods and resources you can use to become more fluent and confident in English. Let's dive right in. The purpose of our podcast, How to Improve English, is to provide you with practical tips and strategies to help you enhance your English skills. We understand that learning a new language can be challenging, and we're here to make that journey a bit easier and more enjoyable for you.
Exactly, Adam. Each episode will focus on different aspects of learning English, whether it's improving your vocabulary, mastering grammar, becoming more fluent in speaking, or even understanding cultural nuances. Our goal is to equip you with the tools and confidence you need to communicate effectively in English.
In today's episode, we'll be covering some essential strategies for overall language improvement. We'll talk about immersion techniques, the importance of speaking practice, how to expand your vocabulary, and much more. So, stay tuned and get ready to take your English to the next level. Now, let's move on to our first segment, where we answer listener questions and address your feedback. We love hearing from you, and it's always great to know what you're curious about or need help with.
That's right, Adam. We've received some fantastic questions from our listeners this week, and we're excited to dive into them. Let's start with our first question.
Adam. Our first question comes from Sarah in Brazil. She asks, what are some effective ways to practice speaking English if I don't have any native speakers to talk to?
Great question, Sarah. One effective way is to use language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk, where you can find language partners who want to learn your native language and in return help you practice English. Additionally, you can try joining online English conversation groups or forums where you can practice with other learners.
Another tip is to practice speaking on your own. Try describing your day, talking about your interests, or even reading aloud from a book. Recording yourself can also be helpful. You can listen to your recordings and identify areas for improvement.
Excellent advice, Adam. Our next question is from Ahmed in Egypt. He asks, how can I expand my English vocabulary effectively?
Expanding your vocabulary takes consistent effort. One strategy is to read widely: books, articles, blogs, and even social media posts. When you encounter new words, write them down and make a point to use them in sentences. Using apps like Anki or Quizlet to create flashcards can also reinforce your learning through spaced repetition.
Also, try to learn words in context rather than in isolation. This means paying attention to how words are used in sentences. Watching movies or TV shows in English with subtitles can help you see and hear how words are used naturally.
Great tips, Julia. Our last question for today is from Maria in Spain. She asks, what's the best way to improve my grammar?
Improving grammar involves both studying rules and applying them. Consider using grammar books or online resources that provide clear explanations and exercises. Websites like Grammarly and Purdue OWL offer excellent grammar guides.
Additionally, practice makes perfect. Write regularly, whether it's journaling, blogging, or composing emails, and ask for feedback from more proficient speakers or teachers. Over time, you'll start to internalize the rules and use them correctly without thinking too much about it.
Thanks to everyone who sent in questions. We love hearing from you, so keep sending your questions and feedback our way. We're here to help you on your English learning journey.
Now it's time for our main topic discussion. Today, we're focusing on essential strategies to improve your overall English skills. We'll break down key areas and provide you with practical tips to help you progress.
That's right, Adam. We'll cover various aspects, including immersion techniques, practicing speaking, expanding vocabulary, and improving grammar. By the end of this segment, you'll have a comprehensive toolkit to enhance your English proficiency.
Let's start with immersion. Immersing yourself in English can significantly accelerate your learning. This means surrounding yourself with the language as much as possible. For example, you can watch English movies or TV shows with subtitles, listen to English podcasts, and read English books or articles.
Absolutely. Another effective immersion technique is to change the language settings on your devices to English. This small change can expose you to new vocabulary and phrases in your everyday interactions with technology.
Moving on to speaking practice. A common challenge is finding opportunities to speak English, especially if you don't have access to native speakers. As we mentioned earlier, language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk are great tools. You can also join online English conversation groups or practice speaking with friends who are also learning English.
Don't forget the power of self-practice. Try speaking out loud about your day, discussing your favorite topics, or even reading articles aloud. Recording yourself can be very beneficial too. It allows you to hear your pronunciation and identify areas for improvement.
Now, let's talk about expanding your vocabulary. One effective method is to read extensively. Choose materials that interest you, whether they are novels, newspapers, or blog posts. When you encounter new words, note them down, look up their meanings, and try to use them in sentences.
Another tip is to use flashcards for spaced repetition. Apps like Anki and Quizlet are fantastic for this purpose. They help you review words at intervals that enhance long-term retention. Also, try to learn vocabulary in context. For instance, if you're learning the word exquisite, see how it's used in different sentences rather than just memorizing the definition.
Let's address improving grammar next. Understanding grammar rules is crucial, but applying them correctly in writing and speaking is equally important. Resources like grammar books, online courses, and websites such as Grammarly and Purdue OWL can be very helpful.
Writing regularly is a great way to practice grammar. Start a journal, write essays, or even draft emails in English. If possible, get feedback from a teacher or a proficient speaker. This feedback is invaluable for identifying and correcting mistakes.
Here's a common grammar mistake: confusing there, and there. To avoid this, remember that there indicates possession. There refers to a place, and there is a contraction of they are. Practice using these words in different sentences to reinforce their correct usage.
Another frequent error is subject-verb agreement, such as he go to the store instead of he goes to the store. The subject and verb must agree in number, so always ensure that a singular subject has a singular verb and a plural subject has a plural verb.
Great examples, Julia. To sum up, immersing yourself in the language, practicing speaking, expanding your vocabulary, and mastering grammar are all key strategies for improving your English. Remember, consistency and patience are your best allies on this journey.
Exactly, Adam. Stay committed and make use of these tips in your daily routine. Thanks for listening to our main topic discussion. We hope you found these insights helpful.
And now, we're excited to introduce a special guest joining us today. Our guest is an expert in English language teaching with over 15 years of experience. She has authored several books on language learning and runs a popular blog where she shares tips and resources for English learners. Please welcome Dr. Emily Collins. Hi, Emily. Thanks for being with us today.
Hi, Adam. Hi, Julia. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
We're thrilled to have you, Emily. To start, can you tell our listeners a bit about your background and what got you interested in teaching English?
Sure, Julia. I've always been passionate about languages and communication. I started my career as an English teacher in Japan, which was a fantastic experience. Over the years, I've worked in various countries, teaching students of all ages and backgrounds. My goal has always been to make English learning accessible and enjoyable for everyone.
That's amazing, Emily. Let's dive into some questions. First, What do you think is the most common mistake English learners make, and how can they avoid it?
Great question, Adam. One of the most common mistakes I see is learners being too afraid of making errors. This fear can hinder progress because it stops them from practicing speaking and writing. My advice is to embrace mistakes as part of the learning process. Each mistake is an opportunity to learn and improve. Try to communicate as much as possible, even if you're not perfect.
That's excellent advice. Speaking of practice, do you have any specific strategies or exercises that you recommend for improving spoken English?
Absolutely. One effective strategy is shadowing, which involves listening to a native speaker and then trying to mimic their speech as closely as possible. This helps with pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. Additionally, practicing with a language partner or in a language exchange can provide real conversational experience. Lastly, recording yourself and listening back can help identify areas for improvement.
Those are great tips. What about vocabulary? How can learners effectively expand their vocabulary beyond just memorizing word lists?
Expanding vocabulary should be an engaging process. One technique is to read extensively and pick up new words in context. This not only helps with understanding the meaning, but also shows how the words are used in sentences. Another method is thematic learning, where you focus on vocabulary related to a specific topic or interest. Using new words in your writing or speech shortly after learning them also reinforces retention.
That makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about grammar, which many learners find challenging. What's your approach to teaching grammar in a way that sticks?
Grammar can be tricky, but it's essential for clear communication. My approach is to teach grammar in context rather than in isolation. For example, instead of just explaining the past tense, I use stories or real-life examples that naturally incorporate past tense verbs. Interactive activities, such as games or role-playing, also make grammar learning more engaging. Regular practice and review are crucial to reinforce these concepts.
Fantastic insights, Emily. Before we wrap up, do you have any final piece of advice for our listeners who are on their journey to improving their English?
Yes, my final piece of advice would be to stay curious and consistent. Language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and keep pushing yourself to practice regularly. Find resources and activities that you enjoy, and don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone.
Thank you so much, Emily, for sharing your wisdom and experience with us. We're sure our listeners will find your tips incredibly helpful.
Yes, thank you, Emily. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. And to our listeners, stay tuned for more tips and strategies in our upcoming episodes.
Thank you, Adam and Julia. It's been a pleasure. Happy learning, everyone.
Now it's time for one of the most important parts of our podcast, practical exercises and activities. Today, we're going to introduce a couple of exercises you can try at home to improve your English skills.
That's right, Adam. Practical exercises are a great way to apply what you've learned and make tangible progress. Let's start with our first exercise. Vocabulary Journal.
A vocabulary journal is a fantastic tool for expanding your vocabulary and reinforcing new words. Here's how you can start one. Step 1. Choose a notebook or digital app. Select a dedicated notebook or a digital app like Evernote or Google Keep, where you can jot down new words. Step 2. Identify new words. As you read, listen, or watch content in English, note down any new or unfamiliar words you come across. Step 3. Define and contextualize. Look up the definitions of these words and write them down. Then, write a sentence using each word to understand its context better. Step 4. Review regularly. Set aside time each day or week to review your vocabulary journal. Try to use the new words in your conversations or writing.
Here's an example. Let's say you come across the word exquisite. You'd write it down in your journal, look up its meaning, extremely beautiful and delicate, and then use it in a sentence. The painting in the museum was absolutely exquisite.
Exactly, Julia. Our second exercise is a *** listening and shadowing practice. This exercise helps improve your listening and pronunciation skills. Here's how it works. Step 1. Choose an audio clip. Select an audio clip from a podcast, YouTube video, or movie scene in English. Aim for something that's a few minutes long and not too fast-paced. Step 2. Listen carefully. Listen to the audio clip several times to familiarize yourself with the content and the speaker's intonation and pronunciation. Step 3. Shadow the speaker. Play the audio again and try to speak along with the speaker, mimicking their intonation, rhythm, and pace. This might feel challenging at first, but it gets easier with practice. Step 4. Record yourself. Record yourself shadowing the audio clip. Then listen to your recording and compare it to the original. Note any differences and areas where you can improve.
For example, if you're shadowing a clip from a news report, listen to the sentence, "The weather today is expected to be sunny with a high of 25 degrees," and try to repeat it exactly as the reporter says it, matching their speed and pronunciation.
These exercises are designed to be both practical and enjoyable, helping you make steady progress in your English learning journey. Remember, the key to success is consistency. Try to incorporate these exercises into your daily routine.
That's right, Adam. We encourage all our listeners to give these exercises a try and let us know how they work for you. Keep practicing, and you'll see improvement over time.
Thanks for joining us in this segment. Stay tuned for more tips and activities in our future episodes. Happy learning, everyone. In this segment, we're excited to share some valuable resources to support your English learning journey. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner, these resources can help you expand your skills and knowledge.
That's right, Adam. Let's dive into our list of recommended resources. Books. English Grammar in Use by Raymond Murphy. This comprehensive grammar book covers all the essential grammar rules and includes plenty of exercises for practice. Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. Perfect for building vocabulary. This book uses a systematic approach to teach new words and their usage. Websites BBC Learning English. Offers a wide range of resources including articles, videos and quizzes, covering various aspects of English language learning. Duolingo, a popular language learning platform that offers interactive lessons in English and gamified exercises to make learning fun and engaging. Apps. Memrise, an app that uses spaced repetition and mnemonic techniques to help you memorize vocabulary effectively. It also offers courses in grammar and conversation. Hello Talk connects you with native speakers around the world for language exchange. You can practice speaking, writing, and even get feedback on your language skills. Podcasts. The English We Speak. BBC, a podcast that explores common English expressions and phrases used in everyday conversation. Each episode is short and focuses on a specific topic. TED Talks in English. Listen to inspiring talks by experts on a wide range of topics while improving your listening and comprehension skills.
These resources cover various aspects of English learning, from grammar and vocabulary to speaking and listening practice. Incorporating them into your routine can supplement your learning and provide additional support outside of our podcast.
Absolutely, Adam. We encourage our listeners to explore these resources and find what works best for them. Remember, consistency and active engagement are key to mastering a language.
That's right, Julia. And if you have any favorite resources that you'd like to share with us and our listeners, feel free to reach out to us on our social media channels.
Thank you for joining us in this segment. We hope you find these resources helpful in your English learning journey. Stay tuned for more tips and recommendations in our future episodes.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Let's quickly recap the key points we discussed to help you improve your English skills. We emphasize the importance of immersion in the language through activities like listening to podcasts, watching movies, and reading in English. Practicing speaking, whether with native speakers, language partners, or on your own, is crucial for fluency and confidence. Expanding your vocabulary requires consistent effort through reading, using flashcards, and learning words in context. Mastering grammar involves understanding rules and applying them in writing and speaking. Regular practice and feedback are essential for improvement.
Absolutely, Adam. Remember, learning a language is a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself, stay consistent, and enjoy the process. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your language goals.
That's right, Julia. We hope you found today's episode helpful and informative. If you have any questions, feedback, or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, please reach out to us. We're here to support you on your English learning journey.
Thank you for tuning in to How to Improve English.
Hi, how's your English practice going?
It's going okay, but I feel like I'm stuck. Do you have any tips?
Of course. What's the biggest challenge right now?
I think speaking. I get nervous and freeze up.
That's really common. Have you tried practicing by yourself?
Not really. I feel silly talking to myself.
Try recording yourself. You don't need an audience. Just practice talking.
I could do that. What should I talk about?
Anything. Your day, your favorite show, or even your goals.
Okay, I'll try that. What about vocabulary? Mine feels basic.
Keeping a vocabulary notebook is helpful. Do you use one?
Not really. I forget to write new words down.
Maybe try a digital one, like on your phone, so it's easy to update.
Good idea. Should I just list the words?
Add sentences with each word or connect it to something personal.
I see. That should help it stick better. Any advice on learning more words?
Don't try to learn everything at once. Focus on common or useful words.
So, things I'd actually say in real life.
Exactly. Choose words that fit your interests or daily routine.
Got it. Should I be watching English shows or anything like that?
Definitely. TV shows, podcasts, movies, all good for listening practice.
Should I use subtitles?
Yes, English subtitles can help. Then, try without them as you get better.
Makes sense. And should I repeat what I hear?
Yes, that's called shadowing. It helps with flow and pronunciation.
Okay, I'll give it a go. Pronunciation is tricky for me.
Try focusing on sounds that are tough for you, like through tongue twisters.
I've never tried those. Would they really help?
They will. They're fun too. It's all about building muscle memory.
I'll check some out. I'm also worried about my accent.
Having an accent is totally fine. Just aim to be clear, not perfect.
Good point. I guess I focus too much on sounding native.
Just focus on being understood. Accents are natural.
That takes some pressure off. So, what about reading? Is that helpful?
Definitely. Reading expands vocabulary and helps with sentence structure.
Should I read anything in particular?
Start with topics you enjoy. It'll keep you motivated.
Okay, that makes sense. How often should I read?
Even just 10-15 minutes a day can make a difference.
I'll try to fit that in. Any other tips?
Yes, don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's part of learning.
I do get nervous about making mistakes. I want to get it right.
Mistakes are good. They show you what to work on next.
That's a good way to look at it. Thanks for all the advice.
Anytime. Just keep practicing and you'll see steady progress.
I'll keep going. Thanks again.